Yo, what's going on, boys? Welcome back to the next video. We are here today on CPI day. We had CPI this morning at 7:30. We had one of the craziest CPIs move. I think this is the biggest CPI move I have seen since I have started trading. So, literally this morning when I woke up, keep in mind last night, like, dude, this is a pretty crazy, like, a whole 4 hour sequence that we had. This is a giant move up within these 4 hours. And even if you take a look here, I did have a solid basis of where I wanted to enter based off, and I knew exactly where price wanted to draw to, which was this 4 hour bearish fair value gap that was filling the 75% mark on equilibrium. But realistically, I did not really want to trade at all today just because of CPI. I did catch a scalp on Russell that I will go over really quickly, but I just want to go over it throughout like the whole day. And what are some type of things that you could have looked at on ES or NQ that are a lot better than the trade I took? Regardless, obviously, that full move of CPI isn't that, but it's this, bro. This is a pretty giant candle. Like, keep in mind, let me show you guys PPI yesterday. So this is the CPI candle today. Now, PPI yesterday was this candle. Do you see the difference now? This candle versus this candle, and having such a strong bullish close like that, it's just not good confluence for me to take a trade off that. I would rather sit out on a day like this every day of the week. And honestly, even tomorrow could be affected based off this. Even tomorrow we could even be looking at a worse day than expected. I just don't like these big moves. Like I said that one time when FOMC, everybody remembers like FOMC November, bro, when the Fed cut rates, bro, that bang, bro. Dude, market went straight down. Literally, we're still trading based off that. Like literally, if you look at the last time, we're still basically moving based off this whole. I don't think it was this. I don't remember exactly when it happened, bro. I'm not even gonna dig into it. It might have been. It might have been like December's. I'm not exactly sure, but regardless, I remember like the last FOMC day. That was one of the craziest days in the market. So let's take a look at NQ. It is all pretty similar once again. Now NQ is a little bit different. We actually did not come up and fill this full moves equilibrium that we had. And we also had this 4 hour bearish fair value gap right here. And then we also have this 4 hour bearish fair value gap based off where this blue line's at. If you don't believe me, I ain't lying. Bang. But yeah, regardless, price never ended up getting into that point. So on NQ today, I just didn't want to force anything. Even though we go back to ES, technically we made an SMT because we took out we took out this high versus on NQ, we didn't even get close. So we had a very significant bearish SMT today. I just don't know. It just didn't feel right. Like when stuff doesn't add up, bro, it is just better to stay off the market, bro. It's rather you're gonna take a L or you're gonna take a, or it's just not worth taking L, bro. I mean, it's not. Let's take a look at M2K now. So this is the trade that I actually took today. It's a little bit different. We actually ended up coming up and making equal highs here, but I entered before that point. So wow, that's actually, I mean, that is way better bearish confluence than I've seen on literally anything else today. Wow, this actually traded way better than. So yeah, we came up, made equal highs. That was a very good bearish confluence. I saw this entry to go short at 8 in the morning, and I almost took this. This would have been my first ever pre-market trade. I'm a little bit upset I didn't take it. I called it out in my notes. I still have it written down. Literally, all I wanted to do was simply just target this low right here. Simple scalp, pre-market, would have worked out, would have been a great trade. Why would have I entered based off that? We had at least a 1 minute break of structure. I think it was actually a 3 minute break of structure. No, it wasn't. Okay, so we never had a 3 minute break of structure, but we had a 1 minute break of structure. We made it equal high, and then also we had this fair value gap, and also we just came off this giant move up, so I knew that price was going to want to make some sort of retracement. Based off that, I could have caught this scalp. Regardless, I took this trade right here. And now you guys on the thumbnail shows Dan, this is a loss, but your boy Dan won. So yeah, I actually had partial set, and I got super lucky. So I didn't have partial set, but I wanted to take partials right at this fair value gap, like filling this full bullish fair value gap. That was my first partials of the trade. I wanted to take that. It was supposed to be 2 contracts went out. I clicked the 2 buttons on Top Step. Top Step took me out of the full position. I am not mad about it because literally at this point I would have took partials and I would have set my stop loss to break even. I would have broke even on this trade. I would have realistically made almost no money. So I'm not mad about it. That low key, like, I mean, realistically, there should have been a break even day. I should have maybe been up like $5, bro. But I was able to make 50 bones off this, even though it took me partially. Like again, it literally took me out halfway through the scalp, so it was literally only like 50 bones. And then again, we are still in the eval, so it's just slowly progressing us towards the next goal, which is getting funded. And we're gonna stay disciplined. We're gonna keep going. Hopefully, you guys keep going too. Now, let me show you boys. Let's talk about some entries we could have been looking at once price came into that 4-hour gap that we had on over on ES. So this is now to the point where I would have been looking for an entry to the downside. Okay, whoa. Do not move the damn chart. Okay, we're good. So this is the 4-hour bearish fair value gap that we had. Price drew into it. Realistically, I'm not going to lie. I did not want to enter based on price coming into this fair value gap because I thought price wanted to go higher within the fair value gap because of the way that NQ was sitting, which was also another reason I didn't want to take a trade because, again, that big move on CPI, it just messed things up because I knew that market wanted a retracement, but I thought that price wanted to fill out a little bit more of that fair value gap, which we never ended up getting. So based off that, I did not want to take an entry. But very early, we did not have a break of structure right here, but literally based off the first bearish fair value gap we got, just based off price coming into it, the first bearish fair value gap we get, which is also an inverse. Let's just do it the inverse version. Price retraces into that. If you took an entry based off that, literally at the 50% mark, and just literally targeted maybe these lows, you would have caught a great trade here on ES. All right, so now let's try to spot a break of structure. Where was a point where, okay, we got some extra confirmation with a break of structure because you obviously don't see one right here. You don't see one right here. You don't see one right here. You see it on the 1 minute right here. And then also you get the break of structure on the 3 minute right here as we close below the most recent low that we formed, which is now indicating that we've entered a downtrend, but we have already missed out on our initial retracement because you didn't want to take it without the break of structure, obviously, because price could have easily went higher. And regardless, after that point on the 1 minute, you don't really get an entry. Damn, even on the 2 minute, it looks uglier than the 3. Trying to look here to see what type of entry. I mean, based off this break of structure, then that means you get this order block that hasn't been tapped into. That last candle up, this still hasn't been tapped into. Some people consider the order block the full move, which obviously price came out, price came back in. You could have entered based off that. Again, I used to enter straight up off order blocks all the time, but I didn't want to. This might have been a 5 minute order block. Yeah. You could have possibly entered off a 5 minute order block here, but the only thing is about the 5 minute order block is you would have to wait for the 5 minute break of structure to happen first, which literally the 5 minute break of structure happened here, and then yeah, we never even had a retracement into that after that point. So regardless, you would have caught an entry off that either way. So I mean, I didn't miss out on much today. Hopefully you guys were able to learn something off this video, and hopefully you guys keep going, keep striving forward. We'll be back the next day. See you boys on the next one.